Okay, hello guys, and welcome again with a new video. We're gonna learn lesson 2 of the Java CSS. In lesson 1, we just create a simple animation of the page 2 and the page 3, as you can see it, with a simple opacity. We use the opacity as a simple animation in the Java CSS. Now we're gonna upgrade the animation a little different from lesson 1. We're gonna create this message as a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and you can add a back option and the open option, as you can see it. So back option, you just go back to the same box as you can see it right now, but now when I click open option, we're gonna add a more style or more text and other thing. You can add it, for example, and yeah. Again, this is simple, and we just want to learn it as a simple and start from the beginner, and we go to the advanced. So if you guys ready, let's do it. Okay, now in HTML, as usual, we're just gonna create a hero page, and we're gonna create a header first as a logo, and let me just type a logo. Send to. Okay, and this is our header, and you can see I just add the color and the font size for H1 and the P. Just a simple filter constraint, and if you don't like it, you can just remove it. But I love to use a filter for HTML, and I want to add something different from other website. First, let me just create this image as a box gift, if you see in the first video. So we just name it simple for this, and I just name it here in a hero, because we don't have any section, so we just add it in a hero page. And let me name it center image as a simple name. Okay, let me add an image. Okay, this is our image as you can see it, and we're gonna style it in a style of the CSS, but let me just finish. Now let me just create a center text to be this here down after this box, and let me name it center text, or text, doesn't matter. Click on the box. Okay, now this is our text and this is our image, and yeah. And now I'm gonna create a message as when a user click on this box, the message come up. So to create a message, let me just name it message, doesn't matter. Or you know what, let me just name it Java, and be this Java image. I want to be a simple name, and now let me just add an image. And now let me just create a link for the back option and open option. So I'm gonna create a div to add a display flex to be in the same line instead of be a next line. So I'm gonna name it link, and let me just add a link. So I'm gonna, instead of adding a link, I'm gonna add a p instead of that. Open. Okay, now let me just add a last. When a user click on the open option, you see the new message come up. So I'm gonna add a new message. Oh, I'm sorry guys, let me inside the hero, and as the last message that come up, and I'm gonna add a well done P. And I'm sorry guys if my voice is not good, because this month I'm not feeling good, so sorry for that guys, I'm very sorry. And now we created this HTML, as you can see it right now, with this message and this last message. Now let's go to create a style of the CSS. So first I'm gonna add a hero, position relative, width 100%, height 100 VH, and overflow hidden, because it's not a responsive website, so I'm gonna add overflow hidden. Now let me add a header for my logo, display flex, and just have a content, center, align item, center, padding, padding 8%. Okay, let me just start with the image. So for the image, let me, as I name it, center image. Let me add the width 500 pixel. Right, okay. Position absolute. Top 50%, left 50% to be a center of this hero page. Translate, transform, translate, minus 50%, minus 50%. Okay. Here, as you can see right now, we have this center image. Now let me just add this text be downside of this box. So I'm gonna name it center text. Okay, center text. First, let me add a text align. Be a center, position absolute, position be absolute. Let me just copy this, paste it, guys, instead of that. Okay, let me add a top 80% instead of 50%. And now, as you can see right now, we have this text that is down of this box. And let me add a transition because we need a transition for a Java CSS. So if you want to add effect for your website when you use a Java CSS, you always need to add a transition for the effect. So I'm gonna add a transition, guys. Just don't forget about this. Listen 1 second, and I'm gonna add the cubic bezier. And this number, as you can see it, just like I said in the first lesson, this is number of holding the animation to start it. For example, if I add a 2 second, that means this animation of the center text start after 2 seconds. So I just add this number for the start later. And now let me just create a center text P. To add the font weight 400, line height 35 pixel, font size. Okay, let me add the color. Let be this color. Okay, let me see what we need. Okay, let me just resize of this image, and I think I name it a Java. Yes, a Java image. Let me just resize it, guys. So first, let me just width 500 pixel, height. I'm sorry for my words, guys. Okay, now this is image. I resized it. Now let me just create a message as a background with little display flex. So I name it a Java, as you can see right now. So I'm gonna call it here in a CSS Java. First, let me add a display flex and justify content be a space between, to have a space between this image and this text. Okay, line items. Okay, let me add a position absolute, and let me just copy this. Let me just copy this and paste it here, guys. Okay, now as you can see it, and let me just, yes, as you can see it, we add this position absolute to be a center, just like this image of the box gift. Okay, and let me just, okay, let me just continue, guys, and we're gonna add width, height, because I'm gonna add a background for this Java. So for the background, let me add first let me add the padding 50 pixel. Oh yeah, 50 pixel is good. Now let me add a background and let the color be this, guys. Okay, now let me add the box shadow 0 pixel, 0 pixel, 15 pixel of this color, 10 pixel. Okay, this is our box shadow, as you can see it, guys. And yeah, this is beautiful. Now let me add display flex for this link, as you can see it, guys, and we're gonna style it. So first let me just add it here. Okay, let me add it. Oh, you know what, let me add it in the top of this, be here. First, let me add a link to add a display flex, and let me add a grid gap for space. 50 pixels is enough. Justify content center. Okay, good. Now let us style of this a link or this p link. Yes. So let me just add it. 5 pixel, 30 pixel. Background. You know what? Let me just copy this box shadow on the background. Okay. Okay, now let me add a border radius, 20 pixel. And let me add the cursor pointer because it's not a link and I want the user see as a link for this. Okay. And I didn't add the border radius for this Java. Let me add the border radius, I'm sorry, 10 pixel. And let me add a transition, and for this, because we're gonna add animation of the Java CSS, so we need a transition for this Java as this message. And let me add the opacity and z index minus 1, z index minus 1. Okay, now it's better. Yeah, now let me just style off this last of message. Last, let me add a position absolute, just like the same. Let me just copy paste it. Top be 80%, transform be the same. Yes, just like this. And let me add text alliance be a center, and let me add opacity 0. Okay, now let me see what we missed. Oh yes, let me just add animation for this box gift, as you can see it. So we're gonna add animation for this. Animation animator routine 2 seconds and cubic bezier. Let me just copy this, paste it. This cubic bezier make this animation beautiful. So forwards infinite. Now let's go to add the keyframes. 0%, 30%, 100%. Let me just, okay. Oh, 50%. Okay, let me just copy this, guys, and paste it. And we're gonna add a rotate, a simple rotate to get a beautiful. Yes, this is good. And that be this minus 10 degree and this be a 10 degree. As you can see it, guys, it's beautiful. And this cubic bezier make this animation better, as you can see it. Okay, now let me add a last thing. I just forget to add and I want this description have a margin for the bottom for the A-link, so I'm gonna add it here. Text p nth child 3. I'm gonna add the letter spacing to add a different style for this, and margin bottom 20 pixel. And let me just see it. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, now it's better. I think now it's better. Okay, now let's go for the Java CSS, guys. Okay, first, before we go for the Java CSS, I just need to add ID and unclick for a user. When you click on the box, a message come up. So first, let me just add a new name as ID for the JavaScript. Let me add unclick, because when a user click on it, the message come up for this image of the center image. And I'm gonna name it a show message or show box, doesn't matter. Show box. Okay, and yeah, let me name this. Let me name this image ID image 1, simple name. And let me just name this, because I'm gonna hide it when a message come up. ID text 1. Okay, next let me add a name for this Java, and let me name it message. Okay, the ID name it message for the Java, and let me name it this text. I'm gonna hide it when a user click on open option, so let me name it text2, and let me add on click for this open, on click for this back, on click back. Okay, and last, this is the last message when a user click on open option, so we're gonna name it, I'm gonna name it last, or let me just name it show. Okay, I know what, let me just name it last to learn it better. Okay, we just name everything we need for this Java CSS. Now let's go to add a new name for the Java CSS, and let me just name it first image1 document get elementary by ID. Okay, let me just name it image1 as we name it for this first image. Let me just copy paste it, text1, text2, text1, text2, and I think I name, oh yes, let's not forget about the Java or the message and message. Okay, we just name it, and yes, the last, let me just name it last for the last message, and as we name it for the ID last. Okay, here we go. Now let me start with on click of this box that we name it of the show box. So let me add the function show box. So what we need for this show box, first I want this message of the Java that we added opacity 0, add opacity 1 to show the user of the message. So we name it of this message. So I'm gonna add it here, the message style, and I'm gonna add opacity 1. And we added transition to get a nice effect. So let's see it. As you can see it, we get this nice message, and I want this box gift and this text after click on box hide it. So let me just add it here. Oh, image1, and for this text1, this is a text1 and this is image1. We're gonna add opacity 0. Simple. We're just gonna start from the opacity 0 and we're gonna upgrade the animation. So let me just teach you how to use it first. Okay, as you can see, we hide this image and this text, and we get this message as opacity 1. Now let me just add a function of the back option that we added here on click. So let me just copy this, paste it, guys. Back option. So when user click on the back option, the message style be opacity 0. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Now when a user click on back option, the message of this be opacity 0, and this image that we have in the first of the website, the gift box and the text one be opacity 1. Or you can add, instead of that, you can add onset. You can add onset if you don't like of using this opacity 1 and opacity 0. Now when you add onset instead of opacity, that means that a style that added here for this style that added here in HTML, remove it. So if you add onset, that means you just remove this opacity 0. And I don't like using onset for this, so I'm just at opacity 0, because sometimes the transition not working for this onset. So yeah, let's see it again, guys. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh yes, I'm sorry guys, I just forget about this. Let me add a z-index to because we added a z-index of the Java -1, that means doesn't click it. So let me just add it here in the show box of the message. Let me add a z-index z-index 1, and now you can see we got yes, better. Okay, and let me just add it here -1 for this message. And just like I say, if you don't like using opacity and the index, you can add the unset to just delete a style of this HTML. Okay, -1. Very beautiful. Okay, now if user want to click on open option, I want the last message come up with this image. So let me just create it for this open option. Now for the open option, what we need, first I'm gonna need to remove this text and this a link, and add this image with a text of the last. So as I name it last, oh you know what, let me just copy this, paste it, I name it last, and now for the text 1 be a 0, text 1 be a 0 0, and let me add a text true, that is this, as you can see it, the Merry Christmas, this that I name it here, the text 2. I want the opacity 0, text 2. Okay, very simple. Now let me just see it. Let me just see it. Okay, as you can see, oh, the text one, oh I'm sorry, last. Okay, yeah, as you can see the text is coming, but the message of the image hide it. So first let me add a background here instead of z-index. Let me add a background, the onset, to remove the background and the box shadow. I want to remove it, the box shadow onset. Okay, let me add the opacity 1, because I want to add this image to be a center of this and with this text. So, and let me add the width 50 pixel. Okay, let me just show you enough this. Okay, yeah, as you can see, we just finished off this Java CSS. Now we get one problem with this opacity 0 and opacity 1, guys. As you can see, if I just click and one more time for this image, you can see this message come up again. So why this happened? Because this center image in the first video, that in this center image, I didn't add a display none to just remove it. I just add opacity 0. So this is a problem with this that you just see. If I just click again, you can see this center image again working for this show box. So how gonna solve this problem if you don't like this problem? So very simple, guys. I just add this here, id. I'm gonna add delete. So I name it a delete, and I'm gonna add it here, guys, because I'm gonna delete it. Delete the box. Okay, delete. And now just add here. Let me just copy this, paste it, delete box. I want to add a display none. That means display none just remove this HTML, and we just don't need it anymore for this. Okay, here, display none. Now, okay, you can see we just remove this center image and we add a display none. But if I just see it again, you can see, yes, as you can see it right now. But yeah, we just remove with a display none to remove it. But if you don't like a display none, you can add more style as a back option and open option. but it's up to you if you don't if you want to add more. So if you don't like of this display and you want to be and you want to click it again to see this message again, so what we're gonna do, guys, let me just delete this to show you the better way. So here I'm gonna add opacity 0. Okay, and you can see we just remove this text, and I want this text to come up. Okay, so text 2, where is it? Yes, here we go. Just add it here, text 2, and add opacity 1 to solve this problem if you don't like a display now. Very simple. And let's see it. Yes, and yeah, back option. Very beautiful. Okay, now this is a simple animation. We add the opacity. I'm gonna add a new animation instead of that, and I'm gonna add top and the left for this message come up. So we add this top. Let me just show you. This is a message that we have here as I name it a Java with the top 50%. So let me just see it. Okay, so I'm gonna add here, guys, I'm gonna add minus 120%. As you can see, it's up now, and when I use a click on the box, I want to coming from the top to this center. So if this opacity instead of that, let me just show you. Let me add it just at the top in a set of opacity 50% to go in a center, and the z index -1. Okay, let me just remove. Okay, I just removed opacity. Now let's see it, guys. As you can see, we get this nice animation at the top and the bottom. Now let me add for this last. Let me add this. So I'm just remove this. Okay, and yeah, this is good. And now let me add a top for the last one, which is here instead of opacity, guys. Last, I'm gonna add top 80%. Let's see it. As you can see, we get this, but the problem is the top it's go up again, because you can see it here. Where is it? Yes, we get opacity, but the top, let me add the top here again for 25% to move this problem, to solve this problem fast. Okay, let's see it again instead of opacity 1. Yes, as you can see it right now. But oh yes, I didn't add I didn't add a transition, because this is the animation Java CSS doesn't work. And just like I said, we need a transition for the Java CSS. So let me add a transition, and let me add is out, because cubic base is not good. Is out, and here is out. Now let's see it. Okay, is out. Now let's see it, guys. Yeah, now it's better, guys, and you can see this message come up. Or you can add a bottom instead of the top, that from the bottom come up this description of the well done of this. And yeah, this is a beautiful, and yeah, as you can see, this is a nice animation as a top and the bottom. But as a teacher, I don't recommend it to use a left and right, because we get overflow. And as I said, guys, if a timeline max doesn't have this problem of getting overflow, you can use a timeline instead of this Java CSS. But I just create a Java CSS for just simple animation. You can add a simple animation with a Java CSS that we're gonna add CSS inside JavaScript, as you can see it. And that's it, guys, and hope you like it of this lesson. I didn't add a more animation, because just like I said, we want to start from the beginning and we go for the advanced. So this is a lesson 2, and the lesson 3, we're gonna go for the advanced animation of the Java CSS. So wait for it. See you in a lesson 3, guys.